Who's actually going to get the most out of an 11-inch Schmidt Cassegrain with a computerized fork arm mount? And who should walk away before they even unpack the box? Is this the sweet spot for a backyard family who wants to catch a glimpse of Jupiter's clouds? Or is it an over-engineered ticket for a hobbyist who already has a 6-inch refractor and just wants a bigger wow factor? And most importantly, does the price make sense for the average person who's not planning to spend hours tweaking polar alignment every night? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's start with the kind of setup you're really looking at. The Celestron CPC 1100 is a classic Schmidt Cassegrain design, which means the light path folds inside a tube, giving you an 11-inch aperture without a massive, unwieldy tube. The dual-fork arm go-to mount is the real workhorse here. It's an Alt-Azimuth platform that can be motorized to locate objects automatically after a quick alignment. In practice, that means you spend a few minutes pointing the telescope at 3 bright stars, let the system compute the sky, and then you can push a button and have the mount slew to the Orion Nebula or the Moon without you having to guess coordinates. Now, who will actually benefit from that workflow? If you're a casual stargazer who wants to see the rings of Saturn or a decent view of the Andromeda Galaxy without pulling out a star chart every time, the go-to capability is a huge time saver. Families with kids love the press a button and it finds the planet moment because it turns a potentially intimidating night sky into an instant adventure. The included 9x50 Finderscope is a practical companion. You can use it to fine-tune the aim before the main optics take over, which is especially handy when you're shooting for the faint glow of a distant nebula on a clear but breezy night. On the flip side, if you already own a solid manual mount or you enjoy the Hansen process of aligning yourself, the built-in computer might feel like an unnecessary layer. The dual fork arm, while sturdy, adds a bit of bulk to the overall package. You'll need a solid, level surface or a sturdy tripod that can handle a roughly 30-pound payload once you factor in the telescope, mount, and accessories. That's not a deal breaker, but it does mean you'll need to allocate space in your garage or a dedicated observatory shelf. For apartment dwellers or renters with limited storage, that could be a real hurdle. Let's talk about daily usability. After the initial alignment, the CPC 1100 really shines when you want to hop from one object to another quickly. The Starry Night software that ships with the telescope is a nice bonus. It feeds the mount a database of thousands of deep sky objects, and you can browse a virtual sky on your laptop or tablet, then click Go and watch the telescope swing into position. In my own experience, the software is intuitive enough that a teenager can learn to use it within a single evening, which is a big win for households looking for an educational tool. However, there are hidden trade-offs you'll notice once the excitement settles. The Alt-Azimuth mount, while excellent for planetary and lunar viewing, introduces field rotation when you try to track deep sky objects for long exposures. If you ever want to attach a DSLR for astrophotography, you'll find the mount isn't designed for that kind of tracking stability. You'd need an equatorial wedge or a different mount altogether, which adds cost and complexity. So, for anyone whose primary goal is serious astrophotography, this isn't the best platform. It's more of a visual explorer than a dedicated imaging rig. Another practical consideration is the learning curve around the go-to system itself. The initial star alignment takes a few minutes, but the process can be frustrating if you're dealing with light-polluted skies or a cloudy horizon. In those situations, the mount may struggle to lock onto the 3 alignment stars, and you'll end up redoing the alignment multiple times. That's not a flaw in the hardware, just a reality of using a computerized system in less than ideal conditions. If you live in a suburban area with moderate sky glow, you'll want to keep a list of bright reference stars handy. The Orion belt stars are a popular choice because they're easy to spot even when the sky isn't crystal clear. Now, let's weigh the practical strengths. First, the 11-inch aperture is a genuine step up from entry-level 4 or 6-inch scopes. You'll notice brighter, more detailed planetary views straight away. The bands on Jupiter, the icy caps on Mars, the rugged terrain of the Moon. The Schmidt Cassegrain design also gives you a relatively compact tube for that aperture size, which makes transport to a dark sky site more manageable than a traditional Newtonian of comparable power. Second, the dual fork arm mount is robust enough to hold the telescope steady for several hours, which is a relief when you're sitting outside on a cool night and don't want any wobble ruining the view. Third, the